City, the City of Smiles, is a very happy place. I feel very welcome here, and I want to thank all of you for your hospitality. Well, 16 years ago, I wasn't as hairy, and I wasn't as wise. I was just a young, aggressive kid, but at that time, I was still at the forefront of what technology was becoming and was capable of. Today I'm going to talk with you about both Web3, which you might know as blockchain, crypto, metaverse, anything in that distributed ledger space. And I'm going to talk with you about AI, which you might know as the voice device on your phone, right? That's the Bixby, Siri, Alexa. Maybe you're going to OpenAI's ChatGPT and asking questions. Maybe you're using Google's Gemini. Maybe you are using Midjourney or Canva to write text and have images pop out. We'll be talking a bit about AI as well. Now, my goal in this keynote, and Donald and Janelle, thank you so much once again for trusting me with your stage. I honor the two of you. I thank you for what you've done for your country and for Southeast Asia with your courage to start Philippine Blockchain Week 2 years ago, and it's been a joy to be a part of it, and I'm always honored to be invited to come speak. We'll be talking about the past, the progress, which is today, and the potential. So strap in, set your phone down for a moment. Don't worry, we're being videotaped. For all of you in the future on the video camera, I see you, I know you're there. Thank you for watching in the future. I want your full, undivided attention for 20 minutes. If you put your phone down and you pay attention to what I have to say, it might not just impact your career this week, it might impact the legacy of what you do in government, what you do in your community, what you do in education, what you do in business, what you do in art or entertainment or news or media. I will be covering all sectors of society today. And a desire would be that you'll take something I share with you and it will impact the decisions that you make moving forward. If there's one thing that I can encourage you to feel, right? Maya Angelou is known for saying, you may not remember what I say, but you will remember how I made you feel. And so my hope is that today, as I go through a bunch of techie information and talk about the history and the present and the future, and I talk about these two industries that are automating things, is that one of the feelings that you carry away from this is a feeling of peace. Can all of you just take a big breath in and out? One more time. Big breath in and out. You may not be aware, but the world has us deceived that automation technology should lead us to anxiety. Now, anxiety comes in two forms. One is we might feel anxious because we're scared. We're scared AI is going to take our job. We're scared AI is going to be like Terminator and try to hurt humans. We're scared that powerful companies, powerful governments are going to get AI and do nefarious bad things with them. And so we find ourselves fearful of AI. Or maybe we're scared of blockchain, we're scared of Web3, we're scared that our kids are going to just constantly be inside of this metaverse. We're scared we're going to lose human connection. We're scared that we're going to lose any sense of what used to be kind of a normal analog world, right? Like no more cash, no more coins, now we just have digital money. Like that sounds scary. And so there's a lot of anxiety that you can feel because you can be afraid of the negative things that might happen in the future. There's another side of anxiety, and that's too much excitement. That's too much passion. That's when you get into NFT trading or meme coin trading or trying to play the tappy game all day long so you can get enough hamster combat tokens downloaded. It never ends. Like you wake up in the middle of the night, you grab your phone and you're kind of working on something. It's that now that you have AI, you can do anything, and so you just have to work all the time because you can have unlimited potential. You understand that's anxiety. That's not peaceful. And what happens is all these different companies that we learn from, the services we use, the products we use, the companies that market to us, they are trying to encourage us to be anxious. We have the very best product you need to buy right now. If you don't buy it right now, it won't be good for you. We have the most important service. You need to pay us for our service right this second. You need to use this service right now, or you're going to lose. And, oh, I guess I need to buy the product. I need to get the service. Oh! So before I jump in, let me just tell you, as somebody that's been in advanced technology for my whole career, I've co-founded 8 different companies in the last 25 years. I've been an entrepreneur in residence at 4 organizations, including the Innovation Hub at Twitter back in 2007 when Jack Dorsey was there, my friend's Innovation Hub. And I've been around advanced innovation for a long time. When I was here 16 years ago, Facebook had just come out, along with MySpace and Friendster and a bunch of these groups, and I had massive communities. I was a KOL 16 years ago, before KOL was a thing. And I've been around. I mean, I think I sent over 1 billion emails by the time I was here in Dumaguete in my career. So 16 years ago, saying 1 billion emails is kind of an advanced thing. So I have a fairly good idea of what automation actually looks like. And what automation likely is going to be is peaceful and boring. And that's good. It's good for automation to be a boring tool that your government officials can use to take this beautiful city of smiles and automate manual processes so that things don't take so long, so that things don't cost so much, so that they, as governors, as civil servants, can do more for all of you. That's a wonderful thing. And my hope is that is the reality of the future of automation technology. So I'm going to go back to 2008 and share a story about why I fell in love with the Philippines and with the Filipino culture. When we came, we were doing music. We called ourselves musicianaries. And so we were this American band, and we wrote all this music that was basically about things that torment society. So we had the most well-known song in the entire world against human trafficking. That song was called Beautiful Slave. And in 2008, that song went viral, and we had over 5,000 user-generated videos just on YouTube, which is pretty interesting for 2008. That's a long time ago. 5,000 user-generated videos back then is kind of like the big thing that happened for us. We wrote songs about drug addiction, about suicide, about depression, about domestic violence. We wrote all sorts of songs kind of telling the stories of the human condition and then trying to share hope in the midst of it. We had rented a huge arena in Dumaguete. It sat 5,000 people. And a typhoon happened to hit the day of our event. We had 300 volunteers that were there to kind of manage the event. And I remember thinking, no one's going to come. There's a typhoon outside, no one's coming here, so we're just going to do a concert for 300 volunteers. But I was wrong. Nothing can stop the Filipino spirit. They all came anyways, and we filled that place up, standing room only, and it was one of the greatest experiences of my life. I remember being in the middle and feeling your culture. I remember thinking about how is it that I had heard that the #1 export in the Philippines is Filipinos. How is it that the #1 import is American dollars or fiat currency? Why is it that the greatest expense Filipinos bear is the cost to get money from out of the country into the country? Why are these people that are so loving, so kind, so hopeful, such hardworking, so innovative, so easy to lean into new opportunity, why have they, for generation after generation, not been able to scale from a developing nation to a developed nation and be a peer with the European nations and the American nations? Why? And I remember standing there 16 years ago in this, and all I could think of was, I don't know why, but I know these people have a destiny. I know that these people have a future that is bright. I was asked recently by a man I respect. He's brought, probably $1 billion of investment into this country. And he asked me this question: Ian, do the Filipinos really have a chance with this new automation technology? Is there any real chance that they're going to be able to have an opportunity? Is it just going to pass by our country here? Is it just going to be a thing that only the developed nations, the biggest, wealthiest nations, is it just the Saudi Arabias and the Dubais that are really going to capitalize on this automation? And I said to him, I said, the automation world has been really run by savage leaders. Not noble leaders, savage leaders. And this is why you see CZ from Binance get in trouble, and he didn't even do anything all that bad. You see Sam Bankman-Fried, really, he basically built one of the worst, if not the worst, Ponzi scheme of all time. You see Alex Mashensky of Celsius. What he did is still to be determined, but I'll tell you one thing, Alex is savage. Whether he broke the law and did wrong or not, he's a savage leader. And then you look at the AI industry. It wasn't that long ago that my friends were creating Siri and creating Bixby and Alexa, and it was very exciting. But today, the AI industry is run by a bunch of savages, right? Sam from OpenAI and the team at Midjourney and the team at Stability. These are not bad people necessarily. I don't really know them. I can't speak for them. I'm not judging them. I'm just saying they're savage leaders. They're unstoppable. They have unbridled ambition. They'll do whatever it takes to win. They don't care who suffers on their path to victory. And so what I said to my friend, I said, friend, to your question, do Filipinos have a chance? I would say that Filipinos, my experience for the last 16 years, is Filipinos are noble people. And the future will be developed. Automation technology will be leveraged by noble people. There's obviously a benefit for savagery. I mean, you really want to have, if you can see the panda over here on my bottom right. Let's see if this is going to work. I could yell. I could yell. Let's see if we can switch out the microphone. So this panda represents nobility to me. And then I have a gorilla over here, and my gorilla represents savagery. And so part of my talk today is I'll be talking about the balance between nobility and savagery. That it's not one or the other. But when it comes to, do the Filipino people have a chance? My answer is, I believe that Filipinos and the developing nations in Southeast Asia have as good of an opportunity as any people group in the world to benefit from automation technology. And I will come back to that point as I conclude my talk in about 10 or 15 minutes. Let's go ahead and jump into the past. So on my screen above me, it should say Web3 and AI, the past. So what's happened up to this point? What's happened with cryptography, distributed ledgers, blockchain, Web3? What has happened? Well, a long time ago, cryptography was actually a weapon of mass destruction in World War II. That's how powerful the mathematical algorithms of this basis foundation are. When you look at Satoshi white paper, over a decade ago, some person or people group that called themselves Satoshi Nakamoto wrote a declaration to the world that we need decentralized money, that we need money that's made for the people, by the people, that's not run by one centralized government or many small centralized governments, that we need to get away from the control of the World Bank and get away from the control of the wealthiest trillionaire hedge funds and families, and put the power back in the hands of the people. And that was a revolutionary idea. And of course, that spurred on new ideas around Web3, like the Ethereum blockchain. Ethereum was not built so that Ethereum, the token, could compete with Bitcoin. Ethereum was built so that people could build smart contracts, so that you, the government of the Philippines, or this city specifically, could move all of your government documents, your health documents, your transportation documents, your supply chain ledger, over to a distributed ledger called a blockchain, and have that blockchain run smart contracts that automate the process to save money and time. And that was why Ethereum was built. And then we see the constant development and a peak frenzy happened in 2017-18 with these initial coin offerings. And this was basically, in many cases, security fraud, at least in America it was, because these small groups of people said, hey, we have an idea. We're going to build a utility cryptocurrency, and you buy it in advance before it has any use. But one day you'll be able to use it for something. And so that caused a frenzy, and everything exploded, and then it all crashed, which is the traditional thing of Web3. Explosion, crash, happy, sad, happy, sad, happy, sad, happy, sad. And then recently, NFTs became a major development in the Web3 space. I'm not sure if you know, but NFTs did $50 billion in consumer sales in 2 years. It is the fastest growing consumer product since the smartphone. And here in the Philippines, 32% of internet users own NFTs. That means in this room, approximately a third of you have either earned NFTs playing Web3 games or acquired NFTs. And so NFTs was another big explosive moment in the past for Web3. And then for AI. So my guys that I've collaborated with for a long time, I helped launch an event you may have heard of called NFT NYC. We've done 7 or 8 events. We rent the Times Square billboards, and we had 18,500 people purchase tickets for our event in 2022. But in addition to that, I've helped co-produce content with Consensus and CES for their metaverse and Web3 content. But I also have some events I've been producing around AI. And so I started producing AI events inside of Twitter's headquarters in 2017. And so I've basically been in this specific industry for about 7 years. And in addition to producing those events, I've helped my friends. And so I've been able to meet the people that invented Amazon Alexa, right? I mean, many of you have bought Amazon Alexa devices, and you had this hope for what it could be in the past. And then you realized, it's only really good for playing music. You kind of lost the excitement for it. Or at some point, maybe most of you use Siri, right? You pulled out your iPhone, you use Siri, or you Samsung Bixby or Google Assistant on your Android device, and you thought, oh, this is it. Like, this assistant's going to change everything. I'm going to be so effective now. And then you maybe kind of lost the excitement for it. And then all of a sudden, about 1.5 years, 2 years ago, Midjourney hits Discord. And it's the fastest growing consumer product in history. It basically took over the Discord channels, and people could start writing something, and then a picture popped up, and it blew our minds. And then OpenAI, which was supposed to be an open source AI for the good of humanity, which became a closed source, maximum profit, good for them company, launches ChatGPT. And then Dolly, a competitor to Midjourney. And now they have Sora, where you put a text in and it makes a video for you. And now the doors open wide. Now everybody's in the AI race. And this is what's already happened. Friends, this is not what will happen one day. I am not talking about the present. I am talking about what's happened for the last decade or longer. You can go to the next slide, and it should say progress. So where are we at today? What's the progress happening right now? It's very easy to look at the state of Web3 and AI and to only look at it from a noble standpoint, right? You got your noble gorilla over here, if you can see it, and you say to yourself, well, everything's good, the progress is great, or you can look at it just from the savage standpoint. This is all bad. We got an animal loose. This is not good. This is bad progress. It's out of control. I would just say this. when it comes to automation technology, it is very likely it's going to turn out to be good for humanity. We might have some bumps in the road. We might be having some problems right now as we kind of get there. But there's a balance between the noble things that are happening and could happen and the savage things that are happening and could happen. As far as what's happening today, right now in the Philippines, this is the #1 country for adopting AI. In this country, there are more searches for AI on the search engines than any other country. In this country, there are more people adopting some form of AI, whether you're using Canva to create images or OpenAI's ChatGPT to ask questions. But that's a very big metric for all of you. In addition to that reality, your government has put together roadmaps and plans for this country to become a leading hub of AI globally and certainly in Southeast Asia. Also, blockchain, I mentioned that 32% of Filipino internet users own NFTs. Well, this is also the #3 country in the world for blockchain wallets. And this is a very, very easy group to bring new technology to, right? So oftentimes you'll have companies come in here and they'll want to say, hey, check out my new product, my new thing. And what will happen is it will just spread like wildfire because the Filipino culture is open. You have open minds, open hearts. You're like, okay, maybe this is it. Maybe I can get past making $10, $12 a day. Maybe this is my key to make $25 a day or $100 a day and be the breadwinner for my family. Maybe this is the thing I've been waiting for. And this is why oftentimes you have AI and Web3 technology come into this country and just spread rapidly through the country. It's because there's a lot of progress with what's happening, and the response here is a positive response. When you look across the sphere of society, I want to talk about the future before I wrap up. And I am going to end on time. To all the people looking at the clock over there, I know what time it is. I got to watch. So you can go to the future slide. It should say potential. I'm upset that my slides don't look right. It's not perfectly succinct. My OCD is freaking out right now. You know, it's like, oh, that's just not, okay, there, now it's right. That's what I'm like. So, future. I want to talk about 6 spheres of society, and then I'm going to end. And I want to tell you what I think the future is going to unfold for these technologies. First of all, the first sphere of society is community and philanthropy. And what you're going to see is you're going to see that these different technologies are going to permeate community development. Also education. You're going to find that with education and apprenticeship that people are going to get educated faster, cheaper, and more effectively than ever before because of these automation technologies. When you look at business and finance, you're going to find that more and more decentralized and automated approaches are going to happen across business and finance. You're going to find people building 10 billion valued peso companies by themselves, just using these automation technologies. You will find that people will create massive benefit for society using these, even just on their own. Government and politics, you're going to find that all of you are going to start voting for people that understand this technology and are finding ways to benefit society with it. And then news and media, I mean, you're kind of in control now, right? The KOLs have shown us on TikTok and Facebook and Instagram that they are the ones that are in control. And this is only going to empower that further. And then finally, the era of society, art and entertainment, right? We kind of have community and education and business and government and media all leading up. And then what do we do with ourselves as humans? We entertain ourselves. We entertain each other. We create art. And that is the future, everybody. When you look at what's going to happen with the future, you can go to my last slide. When you look what's going to happen with the future, it's this. You are looking at a future where humans are going to be financially stable. They're going to have their housing needs met, their food needs met, their medical needs met, and then they're going to decide what to do with their time. And they're going to spend their time either teaching, learning, creating art, or promoting. And it should be a wonderful experience for society to walk these things out. And in conclusion, let me say this. If I'm right about the potential of the future, it might make a 50% impact on Americans and Europeans and developed nations, places like with lots of money, like Dubai and Saudi Arabia, maybe a 50% increase in lifestyle. But for developing nations, nations where the minimum wage is $12 in the major city or $10 outside that region, nations where people are struggling to make it, this could mean a 1,000x increase in lifestyle. And so for those of you that are noble, which is how I see Filipino people, I believe there's a wonderful opportunity before you. And my suggestion is to gather into communities like PBWx and to find that balance between ambition and savagery and confidence and nobility and humility and meekness and love and kindness, and to gather in communities and take advantage of this technology, and you and your family will be benefited in such a radical way. And as I step off the stage, I just had my parents' 50th wedding anniversary 2 weeks ago. And the final thing I said to them as I stepped out was, I will celebrate you for the rest of your life. My kids, their kids, their kids, their kids, and their kids, when you're long gone, will still know who you are, Kim and Gary Utility, and they will still celebrate who you are. And I say to you in 2024, in the Philippines, right here and now, if you apply yourself and leverage this technology, generations beyond you, hundreds of years from now, will talk about what you did with the opportunity. Don't miss it.